proudly presents Beyond the Walls. This is our show where we go above, below, inside, outside, and beyond the walls of the maps of The Last of Us to show you things you've never noticed before, like that reflection. It don't make no sense. Hey, it's Goose. If you saw the grand tour of the university, you know that we showed you all the sights. Things like the A-Rod sign, Big Red, conventionally sized yellow, the light side hallway, the courtyard, and the R. Ryan statue. But today we're going to go beyond the walls to show you things that we couldn't show you in the main tour because they're not really part of the main game. So if you're ready, let's get going. This area here above at the very north end of the map actually has a huge courtyard with a giant building in the background. You literally cannot see that from anywhere on the map. But this area is kind of walkable. I don't think it was a playable area at any time because all the trees are 2D and flat and kind of floating in the air and stuff. So, and everything past this area, you just fall right through the ground. But that's the secret courtyard up there. Let's head inside and play America's favorite game.
That's right, Bob. It's real door or fake door, where you decide if this door is real or fake.
And this one's a fake door. There's nothing behind it. There's no like secret room or anything here. So we're going to check out if some of these are real or fake. This door here is kind of a real fake door. There's a room back here, but there's no floor to it. And it doesn't seem like this was ever a playable area, at least not after like the block mesh stage or the gray block stage or whatever you call it, like early design phases. But it'd be cool if there was a window and door down there, huh? So this door, what do you think? Real door or no, it's a fake door. It's the fakest of doors. Basically nothing out here but the blank white void. There is one more door on this ground level. Let's see if you even know where it is. Yeah, that's right. It's over here. So what do you think? A real door or a fake door? It's a fake door with a twist. There's a floating table mysteriously hanging out here with some garbage. You can actually stand on it and sort of look around and tease you with things you're going to see in just a moment. Plus, you can jump back to the main door. I don't know if this is just a remnant of something, but that skinny table looks just like this table up here, only it's skinnier. And we have one more door to take a look at over here. What do you think, real door or fake door? Real door. That's right, there's this mysterious library up here. A whole hidden room behind the last stand spot. This is the Honor D sign. If you remember across from the classroom, there's the Honor D 1819 to 1918 sign. Here we can see the rest of the sign, and it says Ruth 1, 18 to 19. So that's probably a reference to a biblical verse. I'm not a religious person, but I looked it up, and it seems to be sort of a lesbian romance part of the Bible. It says the line, the women came to Bethlehem. Oh, okay. I may have misinterpreted that. Anyway, here's what a fake book looks like inside. And this is the mysterious library. We'll call it the Honor D library, I guess. Not that you can get to this in the game in any sort of way, but this might be a good time to mention that the Tourtron, the technology I'm using to show you this stuff, does not work in-game or online in any way for me. But let's move on past the courtyard to check out some more doors. And this door is fireproof. That's right. Yep. Oh, wait, what were we testing? No, okay, yeah, no, there's nothing back here. Another fake door. All these doors on the light side hallway are fake doors. So they're really just going to tease what we'll show you next, but we can take a look at the firebox and see if there's any fire hose in there. No, of course not, because survivalists love hose. Anyway, here's another fake door. Gives us our broadest view of this back area back here so far. And you can see there's another mysterious floating table up here. I have to assume that when designers are making stuff and they just don't know how many tables they need, they just kind of stick them out behind the walls until they need them and probably shuffle them in and back, and I don't know, maybe rotating tables. Skinny table or fat table? I don't know. Let's make both. Anyway, there's another room up here. This is our first monster closet we're going to take a look at. From the outside, it doesn't really look like anything, but inside there's a secret room, which also doesn't really look like anything. There's a cool stretch texture on one of these walls, but other than that, it's basically just an empty box. If you need a refresher on monster closets, you can check out the checkpoint beyond the walls that we did last time. Anyway, I know you're burning to know if there is any water in the water cooler. No, of course not. Survivalists love water. Anyway, down the hall, we can see that yobs are victims of consumerist society. And now we can finally get to the other fountain. That's right. There's a whole nother fountain over here with a courtyard of its own and benches and stuff like that. My theory is that this was an early playable prototype area for the university that they just found was too big to really make for fun engagements at the pace that this game runs at. But as you can see, this is also dedicated to R. Ryan. What did the guy invent? Water fountains or something? And there's an invisible wall in front of it, but I can zap myself through it and walk around in here. And you can see that this water fountain is very slightly deeper than the other water fountain. And actually, I think it would be way more playable if the other water fountain was this height. But what do I know about game design? Anyway, I can zap myself up here and stand on this platformy water fountain thing, but I can't stand up with R. Ryan on his statue, and I can't stand on his head either. And as we continue on past the light side hallway to the Greek building, we're going to find a door over here. What do you think? Real door or fake door? Real door. There's a little monster closet hidden over here on the back of this Greek hallway. I don't know about you, but I think this should have been absolutely in the level. I think this would be a brilliant addition to have a little sneaky closet back here. But again, what do I know about game design? I'm just a tour guide. Here is another door, and it's a fake as well. But it gives us a chance to look at all the other junk that the level designers leave around. Here's some bushes and leaves and stuff floating around below the level. And as you can see, there's even like architecture down here, chunks of windows and fences and stuff like that. As we get close to the window, we can see that the reflection in this window is of the courtyard where we just were, the spare courtyard. You can see the round planter boxes, which don't appear in the level otherwise. There's also a column under the calm down guy. There's a spare pallet by the light side health kit. And even over here under the courtyard is this fence, suggesting that once the courtyard was subdivided by this fence that's down here. As we return to the Greek building, longtime players may remember that there was a glitch where people could actually get up here onto the second floor balcony. So I thought I'd come up here and show you if you never got a chance to do that. That glitch was repaired many years ago. So if you never got a chance to do that, this is what that looked like. You were able to just hang out up here and unload your gun on people from down below. It was horrible and terrible. I won't tell you how it worked because that glitch does still work somewhere else in the game and breaks the game, and we don't want to talk about how glitches work. So I think here I'd basically discovered that I have unlimited ammo in the assault rifle, so I was going a little crazy. But we will move on in the tour. And across here, you'll see another monster closet, this one disguised behind a window. Again, it's just a little blank room, but it's kind of neat to know that it's up here above the light side hallway. And there's also this cool ledge area out in front of it, which would be great if you could get to in-game. Obviously, mobility would be an issue with that kind of thing, but it'd be super cool to have this vantage anyway, huh? We can even head up to the third level. You can stand around on the third level as well up here, giving you an even crazier vantage point. This was never glitchable into the game, but boy, can you imagine? And as we look over the whole level, you can see that university is a level rich with roofs. Everything has a roof. Every single building out there, even ones way off in the distance, except that one way off in the distance, and the Greek building has no roof. There's no roof anywhere. One final monster closet at the Greek building is this one here that we teased during the end of the tour last time. The only thing interesting about it is that it's well lit. All the other monster closets do this creepy Vanta Black thing where they appear darker than they ought to given the lighting. until you shine a flashlight on them. But that one is well lit. That's kind of the only thing interesting about these two monster closets. Over in the rest of the Science Center, we can see this front area has a room that you can stand in, but I doubt very much that this was ever a playable area. When you're on the edge of the map here, things kind of glitch out on Joel, as you can see. As I just rotate in place, I'm just spinning, and things are kind of glitching out and back. So I don't think this was ever a playable area at all. But this courtyard here was certainly playable at some point, or that's my theory anyway. I think that wall on the right was over to the left at some point. But they just kind of tightened up the map. Evidence supporting that is the crow's nest that's there, and that you can walk on all this stuff. If you touch on grass or anything down there, you immediately fall through forever. Evidence against is that this final building here has barely been started. Doesn't look like they intended for anyone to be able to look inside here in any way. So maybe that area wasn't really playable. It's hard to say. As we look at the reflection here as well, we can see the same courtyard. The secret courtyard seems to be the reflection for all the windows in the level. I couldn't find any windows that didn't reflect this area. But there's a lot more vegetation on it and stuff, so it must have been done earlier. We'll take a look at the football field in a second, but first I want to draw your attention to this wonderful little building back here. There's no possible way of seeing this from anywhere on the map, and I have a theory that it was just kind of some designer was like hungover one day and was like, yeah, I'm making a building, man. Lines, brick lines, fans, and all the windows. All the windows get fans. It just seems like, I don't know, one derpy little building back there. Going back to the crow's nest, the second crow's nest over here. This is the menu I used to spawn a Joel into the map, and as you'll see, it looks like I'm missing the crow's nest, but actually the crow's nest seems to have some kind of an invisible barrier where if I try to spawn in it, it kicks me out, and if I force it to let me spawn there, it'll just pretend that Joel is falling for, I don't know, a few seconds, and eventually crash him into the ground. So there's some kind of a weird don't be here barrier on top of the crow's nest, but I can be in under the crow's nest, so you can see pretty much what this vantage point would have looked like, and it's pretty freaking awesome. It would have been great if this was part of the map, personally I feel, except I understand that it would have made the map too large. But over here there are 5 AC units just stacked up against the edge of the world for some reason. I don't know if you've ever noticed that on this end of the map. But it's another thing that suggests that it was playable for a time and they kind of cut it off with those AC units. And then we have the second classroom, or the back classroom, I guess. It's a mirror image flipped version of the other classroom with the world's cleanest whiteboard in place of the hole on the other side. But otherwise, it's just identical to that, except for the scary terror wall over there, super smoothed out and weird. And then there's a bit of a hallway here. This suggests that this wasn't ever playable because there's no floor to that hallway. So that's the back classroom. As we continue into the dark side hallway, there's another couple doors. You want to guess? Real door, fake door? Real door. There's a little tiny monster closet here. Actually, not even that tiny. It would be interesting, but I don't think it'd be a good idea if this was part of the dark side hallway. There is one more interesting area up here I think may have been playable at some point. There's this building back here with steps and a courtyard and different terraces and levels and stuff like that. Evidence against includes that floating column up there to the right and the fact that stairs don't work. All the stairs over here you just kind of walk right into and disappear and then come back out afterwards. The best part is that Joel actually does his, like, I'm walking down the stairs move before he realizes they don't exist. These stairs over here do work. All the other stairs in the map, I think, do work. That's right, the University of Eastern Colorado has a beautiful track and field department with one of those fancy new grass tracks. You can head under the bleachers. You can't stand anywhere out here where there's grass, unfortunately. An interesting goof here. This is a rugby-style end zone marker that's shaped like an H, and American College would have a Y-shaped marker. Here at the University of Eastern Colorado, we put education first. So that's the football field. Back here you can see the mountains. When you're up like this, they almost look real, but it's just a giant Pringle of mountains thing. And there's a bunch of buildings back here. I did try and stand on them, but I missed. Even those I did try to stand on. It won't let you stand on any of those. So what about the roofs in the map? No. And yes. Some of them you can, some of them you can't, basically. I do think this is a pretty spectacular view up here. And over here you can see this kind of bridgey area. I once got killed on those steps in such a way that I flew up onto that bridge and crawled around on there while I died. And the guy's blueberry ended up hanging out on top of that, and I thought it was kind of hilarious. Well, and Joel can't walk there, but we can fly our camera through this window and head over to the Science Center. In the Science Center, there's actually a lot more floors than you normally see. We can stand up here, one floor above the last stand spot, and walking in, we see there's kind of like a room underneath here or something. So that's the last stand spot right there. And there we go. Door or fake door? Well, you know the answer. There's like a little teacher's lounge in here with a vending machine and a couch and a couple chairs and tables and stuff. Empty bookcase, that kind of stuff. So this is a neat little room at the back there. Flying up to the third level here makes me wonder if maybe at some point this was a playable area. For some reason there's like a door. I don't know why you'd put that door there if it wasn't ever used, but maybe it's just a remnant from the main game or something. You can see there are windows up here as well, so I don't know if this was ever planned to be playable or what. And as we go past the Hall of Heads, we can look that in the elevator bay, there's an elevator. One of the elevators is down here on the ground floor where you can't see it. No idea why they're wasting that geometry, but that is the last waste of geometry I have to show you. And I would like to thank you very much for coming by and checking out the tour. And we'll end with a longer version of the pullout we ended the grand tour on, just to give you a sense of the actual size and scope of this map. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.